Hey, hi
Hi,
mate.
Noor. Hi, Noor.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? I'm doing super well. I'm doing super nice.
I think
How's
there's
the
this
Saturday treating
echo
you?
in the voice. I'm hearing my voice back.
Uh, there's an echo. Wait, let me figure something.
Sure. There was a network issue, guys. We are waiting for him to be back. Kindly stay tuned. Till then, you can tell me how are you guys doing this rainy evening. You can write into the comment section below. How are you feeling? What's been up? How is this Saturday coming out for you? I can see in the comments that people are working this Saturday and they. Hi, Noor. I feel that there's a lot of technical problems and internet problems at his end. We are gonna wait for some more time. I can read in the comments that Saturday working ho gaya. I think that it's the lockdown effect. Aman. I've added Noor on call. I'm waiting for his approval. Noor, am I visible?
Can you hear me now?
Is it better now?
Yes, it's much better.
Yeah, but I'm still hearing my voice back. But I think let's ask in the comments. Guys, are you hearing two voices? Okay, I think we can. Am I?
Yeah, yeah, perfectly.
Yeah. So how are you doing this Saturday?
Uh, this Saturday, okay, so had a kind of a long week. So I
Mm-hmm.
was mostly chilling. I just like put on a movie and I feel it was like I was like 20-30 minutes into the movie and it was brilliant. Like it was a marriage story. So yeah,
Okay.
mostly Netflixing. Yeah, yeah, relaxing over the weekend.
So
Yes.
it's a very
How was
long
yours?
weekend. I think Monday is also an off, I feel.
Yes, of course, of course, of course. Like one of the
Yeah.
rare like chutneys we get to finish in agency life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can imagine. Can imagine. Yeah. So Noor,
How's
I'll
been your
just
week?
tell my viewers why are we here. So we are here to talk to Noor about his journey of being an author and now a digital marketer. How has it changed for him, and what are the challenges that came across his route? So I think Noor, we are all set to know about your journey of an author. How did it happen? What were How did you feel about it? How did the book perform? Something about the book as well.
Okay. Uh, so it's been a while since like the book started. So I wrote the book with a co-author who
Hmm.
also happens to be my best friend. Like we know each other since 7-8 years.
Hmm.
His name is Karan Kapoor, and we were together in school, and that's when we started. Like we started like I guess on the first day of class 12 on
Hmm.
writing this book, and I always felt कि it's gonna take like a year at every point, but it ended up taking us 4 years. But we were like, we didn't hasten the release process. We kept working on the book until we felt it's the right product for the people to see.
Hmm.
And like
I
we
think,
released the book in
Noor, before you move forward, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you just name your book? Can you just tell me the title of your book?
the book is called The Dreaming Reality.
Okay.
The Dreaming Reality, yeah. And like if you want to put a genre to the book, so it will be psychological drama or psychological thriller. So that.
Okay.
And how the book performed, like we were super, I mean, surprised by how well the audience took the book. Like in 2018, the year the book released, so it went on to become the bestseller in indie writing category on Amazon.
Okay.
And
That's
like,
great.
so yeah, so this was like a big moment for us because we hadn't, so we weren't affiliated, or like we still aren't affiliated to any publishing house.
Okay.
And we did the whole process ourselves, like from writing the book to like contacting an editor, to getting the cover made, to like actually getting the book printed, getting the book out, and like putting it on platforms like Amazon, Flipkart. So yeah, so for us, like to 20, 21 years old people, it was like a big feat for us. So yeah, it was super exhilarating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been a very proud moment for you and your co-author. I think its name is Karan. So you,
Yes.
yeah. So Noor, we know about the genre of the book. Can you tell us about how, if you were writing a book, what were the challenges that came across your way, and while you were publishing your book on your own, what were the challenges then? Did you try contacting some publishing houses? How did the experience happen? What did you go through?
So while writing the book, a lot of people, a lot of writers, like usually the challenges that they come across, fortunately, those challenges didn't come for us. Like for example, writer's block wasn't a big thing for us because like we were two people, and when one person like their brain stopped working, there was always the other one to like cover up. But like it wasn't like, I think the writing the book overall was a gorgeous process. Like there wasn't a challenge. It was just a time-taking process because
Yeah.
we were like we were trying to like put out a product which is like the best as per us. Like of course it's for the readers to decide if they like the book or not, and it's completely like their choice. But like we want to be completely satisfied from our side. Like we didn't want to be like bound by a deadline. So mostly that. And what were the challenges in the publishing process? It was because so we did contact publishers, but like we of course wanted to be published by a bigger house like
Yeah.
Penguin or like let's say Rupa, like if it comes to like Indian publishers or HarperCollins. But like it's a slightly tricky process because there are a lot of other variables involved. Also, like apart from like how good your writing is, then like we thought, okay, if it's not working out for us, we tried contacted some like smaller publishers, but like the kind of royalties we were expecting, we weren't able to get because that's the standard in the Indian writing market. So we thought, okay, let's take a leap of faith and let's like, how do you actually get the book published? So it turns out it's just a QR code which separates a printed set of pages from a book.
Okay.
We managed to get that code. It's like government process and it takes like a couple of months, but we did end up getting the code, and we just got the book printed. And after that, also we had about 1,000 copies in our hands, and we didn't really know how to out the book. I mean, how to sell the book. So we became the salesman ourselves. So we went to college fest, and we sold the book ourselves. Like we got a little stall, and we talked to people. We told them about a book, and if they liked what we had to say, they just got a copy. And that's how we sold the first 1,000. And after that, we put it on Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think you guys are selling the books in a personalized note format as well. So,
Of course.
Yeah.
So because the pandemic kind of impacted Amazon and Flipkart deliveries. So for a short while, we have kept the book off Amazon because of like hygiene reasons. And like Karan is himself taking care of the logistics, and we're also offering a little note like to make the book even more personalized for the reader. So yeah.
Noor, I'm in touch with a lot of aspiring writers who are writing something, but aren't able to get their book published. So do you have any message for them? Or some kind of some kind of actions that you did in terms of selling the book or marketing the book, in the sense that it gave you a kind of a profit situation or give you satisfaction itself. So any suggestions or any do you want to pave a route for that?
Okay, so like one thing I would want to so I've also talked to a lot of writers, and one common thing that I find is that writers are really good at writing, but are not salespeople.
Yeah.
Right? They feel slightly anxious and slightly hesitant when it comes to like asking a reader a price for the book. Right. So I think one has to separate that like from them. Like one has to take that anxiety out of themselves if they want to like really sell their book and make some money out of it. Because like if you do write a book, even if you do write a gorgeous book, perhaps the best book on earth, and if like 2 people read it, it's not actually really worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And secondly, I think Instagram has made it slightly easier for a lot of us, because now writers can make a audience base of themselves by putting out little of their stuff, and once they make an audience base, like provide them value content for like let's say an year or
yeah. I
like,
think we lost
guess, I think there was a little glitch.
Yeah, that's complete.
So I said that first I would recommend writers to make an audience base.
Yeah.
Like the most easy is, I guess, Instagram, where like a lot of people are anyways active, so anyway they consume content. So I think it makes a good platform to just build an audience first and then slowly let out their book.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it was
also
valuable. Yeah, please continue.
Also, Isham, I believe like it also seamlessly integrates into that you can run ads on Instagram. It's not just a platform for people to consume content. If they really like your content, they can also buy a little. Okay. Also, it doesn't need to be a fully fledged novel. Like at first, you can take out a book of poetry if you are into it, or take out a book of short stories. It's not just restricted to, let's say, fully fledged novel. So yeah. Also, I'm sorry I cut you down. Yeah, you were saying
No,
something.
no, no, that's okay. I was just saying that it's a very valuable advice that you're giving to our viewers that, first you have to create your fan base or your base so that people can, approach you or get the book. So I think it really helped Noor talking to you about the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was saying something?
One little thing, I believe ki, during the time when they don't have a book or they don't have a product,
Hmm.
like I think the real motive has to be like nurturing the audience base selflessly
Hmm.
so that they fall in love with the content so much that they wouldn't mind paying a premium for the book or whatever it is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
So, Noor, what are your views on the ebook or the paperback? Which one do you think is, you know, helps the authors to earn money or to help the author to gain that traction?
uh, it depends upon like it's not actually an either or, like you can have both,
Hmm.
but as in the ebook version, it didn't like the bigger platforms
Hmm.
that are available for ebook.
Hmm.
Mostly it's Amazon ebooks, and like for starters, the payments are slightly delayed
Okay.
because after it collects a bunch of money, then only it transfers it to your account.
Okay.
So for starting out, you can go paperback because the payments are slightly,
Handy.
I mean, quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can also like have an ebook. So yeah,
Sure.
that's not an either or. You can have both. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes totally sense. Noor, I think that you and I have met in an organization which have nurtured our relationship in a level that I have known you personally and I have seen and have worked with you. So has your knowledge at your present organization helped you market your book even more?
Uh, I think yes, because what advertising teaches us is that to convey a marketing message, there are always multiple ways in which you can say the same thing, and which we call as A/B testing.
Hmm.
Like what kind of message or what kind of visual, what kind of creative works better
Hmm.
out two or like multiple forms.
Hmm.
So I think A/B testing is one of the like best thing that I've learned from advertising,
Hmm.
and it has directly translated into like making better ads for the book. Yeah,
Hmm.
so of course.
I think when it comes to digital marketing, I always feel that, in the times of this pandemic, people are more into digital than, going for offline modes. So I feel that digital marketing has slowly been on a rise only since, a lot of time.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. I think there are no like double thoughts about the same. Like
Hmm.
where a lot of industries are struggling, like
Hmm.
or did struggle for like
Yeah.
the initial times of the pandemic. Like digital marketing agencies, like I don't think they did because
Yeah.
in my agency or like in other agencies I know of, like there has been a steady inflow of clients,
Yeah.
and agencies on the contrary, they're doing even more business than usual. So yeah,
Yeah. Makes
it's definitely
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Noor, in our next segment, we are going to talk about basically your role as a content strategist and how have you adapted to an environment as fast as a digital marketing agency. Because I know that because even if there are some holidays, we have to be prepared for that. There's no long weekend for us because we have to kind of struggle and make up for the long weekend in our previous week. So how do you survive in this fast-paced environment? And also, how has your experience been as a content strategist?
Uh, Actually, I think like it has been something that I've been better at with experience.
Hmm.
So it's been almost 2 years. I've been doing digital marketing. I've been working as a copywriter or a content strategist with
Hmm.
an agency. Uh, and I think once you get hold of things,
Hmm.
once you figure out this is the way you can do this specific task,
Hmm.
then only you can do better, like get quicker at it and things flow more effortlessly.
Hmm.
for example, if you do social media content for a while, you kind of get a hang of like
Yeah.
what kind of posts you need to make, or like the different styles in which you can write a copy. It's very different than how you would write a blog, which is very different than how you would make an ad.
Yeah.
So it takes beginners a little more time because they are not really familiar with a lot of things. And with times it becomes like much more simpler.
Yeah. I think Noor,
And like after that it becomes proper. Yeah.
yeah, sorry to cut you off. I think a lot of my teammates and colleagues are there watching this live, and most of them are into content writing as well. So, do you have any kind of, suggestions or something, content writing hacks you would want to suggest them for writing good copies for social media?
So one thing that I personally follow for content is so I am someone who surfs over social media a lot. Like I use Instagram a lot, and I think I try to make good use of it also. So for example, like if someone would go to my profile, like I follow like 7,000 odd accounts, and these are influencers, these are content creators, these are other relevant brands, and some celebrities. So I follow them in order to stay in loop with what's happening over digital. So I also follow a lot of accounts which show some of the best work in advertising, like be digital or traditional. So this helps me like receive good ideas from across the world better. And how I utilize it, how I like amplify it, is that I have made I think so what I've done is I save a good post the moment I see it, and I have clearly categorized those posts. Like if it's I have categories like good copy, or good like imagery, or good videos, GIFs, engagement ideas. And in moments when I'm stuck, because like come on, like it's you have to like come up with ideas super quickly when it comes to digital. And you can't always do that. You don't always have an idea up your sleeve at all times. So in moments I'm stuck, I just refer to that little resource I made for myself. And like I think this is the most helpful piece of advice I can give anyone.
I think research.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think research and being in the loop is what these content writers can do.
Of course.
Yeah. Noor, what do you think about, if I tell you that you're a content strategist, and so what is the content strategist to you? So what I actually mean is I'll rephrase the question. It means that a content strategist at one organization might mean that he or she is only there to write content, but a content strategist for a different organization would mean somebody who strategizes the content, who gives idea, who does ideation, and then writes copies as well. So what do you think works better for any organization?
Okay, so what I feel works better is like content strategist as per what the name suggests.
Okay.
It has to be content plus strategy. For example, it has to be copies and blog posts plus a strategy which ties the copies and like all pieces of content. So there's one quote I kind of vaguely remember. I'm not sure if I'll quote it correctly. So I remember it.
Yeah.
That like creatives without strategy is art, right? And while art, it does look good, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like all of us wouldn't would have heard the phrase "art for art's sake."
Yeah.
That it might or might not have a message which would impact someone.
Yeah.
But strategic content is made to persuade.
Yeah.
Like it's made to make you do something, or like make you commit to an action, which like does the brand who's posting it some good. So yeah. So I think if it's not strategy, and if you're purely coming out from a content point of view, it wouldn't really work in the long run.
Yeah.
because there always needs to be an underlying thought of why you're doing what you're doing.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would want to, hear to this advice. I guess I'm gonna share this bit also after this live for our viewers to, get a hang of this, so that because a lot of people curate content just for the sake of curating it and they do not give that much of thought into it. So I think that's a very great advice that you are giving to us. So
Also,
yeah,
just one little thing.
sure.
I think if someone would do purely content, it wouldn't be as much effective compared to if someone would do content in a particular context. So I'll try to explain it a bit better.
Sure.
For example, if you do a post which is like showing a cute love story between two people on a random day, it wouldn't like make a lot of difference. But if you do the same on Valentine's Day, it might catch a bit of attention because it is coming from a certain context.
Yeah.
And all the people are thinking in a certain way. For example, if someone would post a picture with a mask like randomly, it wouldn't make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Someone would think they're a weirdo or something, but now masks are relevant and like people understand why the mask is for. So unless you do something in a particular context, like it doesn't usually like create an impact. Unless sometimes when it is just clutter breaking, that nobody's doing such a thing and you did something out of the box that you got all the attention. So just that.
I think you explained it very well, Noor. I think I am going to share it with my teammates for sure if they are watching it on. I think it's really helpful for us as well. So, Noor, I want to know about the organization a bit so that I can ask you my next question. For that, you would need to know a bit about BrandBurp. So, BrandBurp again is a digital marketing agency, and we cater to clients not in Indian origin, but they are in UK, the US, or the Arab. So now the content we curate is totally different because the content which is relevant in India is not relevant elsewhere. And so we face a lot of challenges in that. And I am sure that you must be dealing with clients of different industries as well. So what challenges do you face when it comes to curating content or strategizing for different brands or different agencies at the same time? And how do you plan and how do you overcome that challenge?
Okay, so I think it's one question that a lot of people who are not from the industry think it would be like super difficult to do something like this.
Yeah.
But I'll give an analogy. For example, you are a different person when you're like out with your friends, and you're a different person when you're at home.
Yeah.
When you enter home after meeting your friends, you don't have to actively think that, hey, I need to change to my home self. Right. So it's all about taking a bit of time to understand the brand, to deep dive into like, hey, what are the emotions involved in this particular industry, and what are the emotions involved in the other industry. And once you spend some time on it, once you spend some time referencing similar brands in the industry and understanding what the industry like expects you to think like, it becomes almost effortless. Like I think it just takes a bit of honeymoon time, like which is around like a month after. I don't think like it creates a big challenge for someone to switch from one brand to a different brand. So for example, I'm working for a brand which is on the fashion side of things, like which make super trendy handbags for women, and I work for this other brand which makes baby products. And now they are two different industries at like absolutely different industries. They have nothing in common, but I don't think it takes a big challenge for me to like switch, or like for this matter for anyone, because I also speak a lot with my colleagues and other writers from the industry, and I don't think it's a big challenge. Like it just comes effortless.
Hmm. So,
Yeah.
I think for a challenge to not look like a challenge, you have to do a lot of research. And I think if you do that, it doesn't look like a challenge. I think precisely why it's not a challenge for you. Is that so?
Uh, so I think research is like a super big part of like how I write copy,
Hmm.
and the best thing is to do the research right at the beginning.
Hmm.
I completely understand that there can be times when you don't get ample time,
Hmm.
but like if you do the research towards the beginning,
Hmm.
if you spend some time out, like manage your work accordingly,
Hmm.
then it becomes super easy for you later on because you
Yeah.
understand what the industry expects you to think
Hmm.
like.
Yeah. And I think
So yeah.
Noor, I have so I personally, when I work in BrandBurp or if I work in any organization, I often come across clients who demand something which is really bad for me. Like that is like really not my taste, or that is really not what I feel that would work with a particular brand. And what I suggest, that doesn't align with the client. So, has it ever happened with you, and how were you able to convince the client, or what did you do in that situation? How did, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a very typical agency life question.
It's a typical agency life question,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. So yeah, it happens a lot of times,
Hmm.
and like, but it keeps happening less and less often as you build a relationship with a client,
Hmm.
and they understand that all you want to do is add value,
Yeah.
and you're not afraid of doing extra work.
Hmm.
Uh, like they would have to understand that, hey, you want the best for a brand also as
Hmm.
much as they
Hmm.
or like or even more than that,
Hmm.
right? And once you reach that stage, uh, like the clients start to listen to your advice.
Yeah.
So and they start becoming less. What do you say? Less. I wouldn't want to use a politically incorrect word here,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they wouldn't want to stick to like what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
They become more flexible.
Hmm.
Yeah, as he mentioned.
Yeah, I think your colleagues are there supporting you throughout this life. Yeah, so this
Someone
question,
says he has not so cordial relations with his cat. Uh, well, there can be exceptions, but
yeah,
for most of them, I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's this question that have come across my window which says that people write content as a content writer, but we have to write a content by making ourselves a customer. What do you think about this?
Uh, actually, I wouldn't. I don't subscribe to this philosophy.
Hmm.
So I'll tell you the reason why. So
Yeah.
it was a study done by Netflix. So what they did was they want to increase their subscribers, like
Hmm.
the people who have a premium Netflix account, like who pay Netflix, right?
Hmm.
And they asked a lot of people, ki, what would you want to know better about Netflix
Hmm.
that you would want to buy?
Hmm.
And most people said that we would want to know ki, what shows Netflix has to offer,
Yeah.
right? Like it sounds like a fair thing कि हाँ यार अगर पता चल जाएगा ये है तो we would perhaps pay for it,
Hmm.
right? And the Netflix did that
Hmm.
for a small test bunch of test users,
Hmm.
like which was not so small, like good enough for a sample size,
Hmm.
and they found out the number of subscribers actually dropped.
Okay.
Like people actually didn't want it.
Hmm.
People just thought they want it.
Hmm.
So Netflix figured a middle ground.
Hmm.
So what they did was on their screen, in which you have to like buy a like make a decision to buy Netflix.
Hmm.
They just showed a wall of their shows, like a wall in which
Hmm.
there was a collage of their shows,
Hmm.
and they had a red background
Okay.
on top of it,
Hmm.
so that it's kind of visible but not so visible.
Yeah.
And it gives a little snippet of what all Netflix has to offer.
Hmm.
So this worked the best for us. That they're kind of open to what the audience also wants, but
Yeah.
kind of also like like do what actually works.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think the balance should be there in such a scenario.
exactly.
Yeah. There's this one more question, Noor, in the comments which says that is it necessary to know graphic design if you are a content strategist?
Uh, Actually, it's not necessary to know graphic design as in to know how the software works,
Yeah.
like to know how Photoshop or Illustrator works, but it's absolutely necessary to know what will aesthetically look good.
Yeah. Ideation, is that what you want?
Uh,
Visualization.
Not actually addition, but have an aesthetic sense, have a sense of aesthetic, what kind of colors would look good together, or like what kind of visuals would go, because directly reflects on what kind of brief you would give to a designer.
Yeah.
If you would unrealistic brief, the designer magically create something good. So yes,
Okay.
like also coming from a non-graphic background, so I think I learned this thing while being on a job, like to like better my aesthetic sense, and like following a lot of social media accounts of good brands which have good designs. So that helped a lot. So yes.
I think one more question comes your way, which says that 3 do's and don'ts of copywriting.
Okay. 3 do's and don'ts. Okay. The first do is never write a copy before you understand the brief.
Yeah.
For example, there are a lot of copywriters who, for the sake of like pushing out quick copy, they just rephrase the brief.
Yeah.
So I don't really recommend it. Second do is short is not always better. So there is one common belief how shorter the copy is, like it works much better. But like being someone who's also very involved with the media, so I think not always short copies work better. It depends from case to case.
Okay.
And third, I would want to give is that yes, have first you have to visualize like how the entire concept will turn out to be before giving it to a designer. And don't leave all the job to them, because like unless you are 100% sure ki how it will turn out to be, like not 100%, like you have an idea ki how it will turn out to be, you shouldn't pass it on, because the final product might not be as great and it will waste everybody's time. So yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, Noor, one question that I would want to ask you: in a digital marketing agency, do you recommend there is an interconnectedness between different levels of marketing? For example, if there's a content strategist, should he or she be connected to the designer, and then should he or she be connected with the paid ad manager or the account manager in social wash, as they call it? So, do you think that there should be a kind of communication flow? So, in order to make the campaign more successful. Or should it be just one team happening कि चलो ये बोल दिया कि account manager सिर्फ paid campaign संभालेगा, content writer कुछ अपना करेगा? So like, do you want this individuality to happen, or do you want कि there is a interconnectedness in all the things?
So one clear philosophy that I abide by is that any campaign or can't really work very well if everyone in the team has the same priorities. If everyone is working towards the same goal. For example, if a copywriter wants कि अच्छा है वो copy बहुत अच्छी हो, and if the designer wants कि नहीं यार I want to use these colors, and if the account manager wants कि नहीं यार don't take 2 hours, deliver this in an hour. So I don't think this will lead to a good campaign or creative or whatever. It's not just a good way of functioning. So I think the interconnectedness, it's like super like essential. And I think the pandemic has actually made it much better, because we talk a lot more. Like I think it would happen with you also. You're on the phone for like most part of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I think communication is super essential and non-negotiable.
Sure. One last question by the viewer that has dropped in, which says, followers to following can make it okay. So it means that it's like it's there in the engagement section that you follow one page and then they follow you back. Do you think that it will make your brand presence suffer?
Mm, if you follow a brand, if you follow someone's account and they follow you back, I don't think it works
Yeah.
in an actual in an actual scenario. It's a very short-term way of increasing your followers, and these people will eventually unfollow you at the next time when they see your post. Hey, it's not a person I would want in my account. So yeah, I don't believe in it.
And do you think that the ratio between the followers and the following should matter in a brand's account? Like obviously the post. You cannot have more posts than the number of followers. Is that so, or what do you think about it?
Uh, it really depends upon brand to brand. For example, okay, so how Instagram and Facebook have made it is that unless you spend some money on advertising, on paid advertising, you can't really grow followers.
Yeah.
So if there's a brand which is only relying on organic followers, then it's like their post to follow ratio is bound to suffer. But in my scenario, it doesn't look good. If you have more posts, then you have followers. Brand, it doesn't just create authority, and people would want to follow a brand which they can trust. So yes,
I think it makes
I wouldn't recommend having
Yeah. So, Noor, one question that I have in mind is that when you are curating a content, how
Uh-huh.
do you think I before I move on to that question, I would be wanting you to explain the campaign that you did when I was there at Social Watch that got featured in social posts about Badly's Father's Day. I think throw some light on that campaign so that and so that it can help our viewers to crack that social samosa code that they always want to.
Okay, so I think it's been a while since that happened.
Yeah.
After that, also there have been a bunch of campaigns which got featured on Social Samosa and Social Media Dissect and other platforms. So I wouldn't speak specifically about that campaign,
Yeah.
but I would speak in general how you can create great content on topicals, because in digital marketing on social media specifically, topicals are like a big challenge. You have to get the topical right, and all the clients' eyeballs are also on how well the topic idea comes up. So I think one general idea is to for creating topicals is not how it should not create what the brand would want to push. For example, don't push a product. Try to connect to a feeling that the audience will relate to. Try to make content which the audience will feel, hey, I am like this, or hey, this happens to me.
Basically,
so I think
do you want to talk about emotion?
If I want to put a word to it, I would say relatable.
Okay.
To create some content which the audience relates to, and not what the brand wants you to, but the brand wants to push. Don't focus on the product, focus on an emotion.
Makes sense. I think it's very important, even because when we have 2-3 festivals lined up, we should always connect to the user in a way that can, give us more engagement. Is that so?
Of course.
Yeah.
And I have also noticed that on topical days, the engagement rates are usually also higher than regular, because everybody is thinking in the same way. Again, the context wala thing. That because it's Eid, everyone is in a Eid kind of mood.
Yeah.
So yes, that's one of the reasons it gets more engagement also.
Sure.
And if it's relatable, you kind of just beat the iron when it's hot. So yes, do the right thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Noor, one question that I have related with COVID, that since this pandemic has started and we have all been working from home, how has your work been affected, or has it been affected in good direction or bad direction? How do you kind of cope up with such a situation? is there kind of miscommunication between you and the teams? You know, just a normal cultural talk about it.
Okay. So I think very surprisingly, the COVID thing has it has affected work for the better for me. Like I think at home I'm in a much more like free state of mind. Uh, I wouldn't say that my colleagues give me anxiety, but I would say that just being at home, I feel much more relaxed and I'm in a much better state to think freely. And the kind of content I've been producing during the pandemic time, it has certainly improved. At least I can feel the same.
Okay.
But there are certain challenges that life and work kind of intermixes during work from home. For example, like you're working
long work hours.
and you long work hours. Also, you're working and you call a team member and they can't pick up because a relative has come to their place. This is something that doesn't happen during like when you go to office, but like it's the new normal. So there's nothing a lot you can do. But yeah.
So is there any kind of a specific, you know, like at office, when we are at office, we have the weekends to ourselves and that's when we rejuvenate. So what do you do in such a situation when you are sitting at home and you are also writing, that is your work space, that is your relaxing space. So what do you do to feel rejuvenated at home?
So I think during the pandemic time, of course, I can't really go out a lot. Like before the pandemic, I used to like go out every weekend or oftentimes during the weekdays too after work. Nowadays, I think I'm tuned a lot into cinema. Like I found a great IMDb list and like I've been trying to scratch all the movies off it, like trying to watch it all. So like cinema has been my recluse like during the pandemic time. So mostly that.
And what about the next book, Noor? Are you on it? Have you thinking upon it?
So currently, like not me, but Karan is working on like Karan launched a book after that. And Karan Maya. Yes. And Karan is actually working on a book of poetry currently as we speak. I want to give advertising some space for the next couple of years before I move on to like my next writing venture. So like that's the status as for now.
Sure, it totally makes sense. Noor, I would want to say that it was a really nice, insightful session that we had today. I am sure that it has given a lot of insights into the content strategizing and into marketing the book. And I am sure that the viewers are as much satisfied with this session as I am. I hope that it's the same for you. Do you have some last words or something that you would want to convey to our viewers?
I think I had a super wholesome conversation. Like
wholesome
had
is your favorite word.
Yeah, it's like my go-to word, one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
So and I had a lot of fun like interacting and answering the questions. Also, like if any of my advices did actually does actually help someone, I'm like super glad there. And I would totally recommend like all the people watching right now. And if someone would want like watch this stream after it, I would totally recommend them to like follow BrandBurp. And if they're not doing it already, and like tune into it for like lot more live sessions like this, because like I tuned into the last one, like in which you invited the RJ, and I had a super great time. And I'm sure like you have a lot of other like live sessions lined up. So yeah, also best of luck, Mehak.
Thank
You're doing an amazing job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was nice having you. Have a great
likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.